Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Balaji. In today's video, we are diving into the global infrastructure of AWS. If you are a fresher or just getting started with cloud, this video will be super helpful in understanding how AWS is built behind the scenes. This will be a complete theory session, but don't worry. I will explain every concept with simple real world examples so it's easy to grasp. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any upcoming updates or cloud content. Let's kick things off with regions. AWS has data centers spread all over the world, and these are grouped into what we call regions. Each region is basically a geographic location, like Mumbai, Sydney, or London. And inside every region, there are multiple data centers. Now, here's something interesting. Every AWS region has at least three isolated availability zones, or AZs. And that brings us to the next part. So, what exactly are these availability zones? Think of AZs as separate data centers within a region. But these aren't your average data centers. Each one comes within its own power, networking, and cooling, basically designed to operate independently. They are also physically separated. We are talking several kilometers apart, but still within about 100 kilometers of each other. What makes them powerful is that they are connected through ultra low latency networks and all the traffic between AZs is encrypted. By spreading your application across multiple AZs, you get high availability and fault tolerance, which means even if something breaks in one zone, your app keeps running smoothly from another. Before we move further, let's quickly understand something called latency because it plays a big role in choosing AWS infrastructure. So, what is latency? Simply put, latency is the time delay between when a user sends a request, like clicking on a website, and when the server responds. High latency means there's a noticeable delay. Things feel slow. Low latency means things respond almost instantly, smooth and fast. For businesses, low latency is a big win. It improves speed, boosts efficiency, and gives users a much better experience, especially for apps like video calls, gamings, or real time interaction. Now that we know what regions are, let's talk about something important. How do you choose the right AWS region for your application? Here are the four things to consider. Compliance. If your workload contains sensitive data or it is bound by regulations, you must choose a region that complies with those local laws. For example, some countries require data to be stored only within their borders. Latency. Always aim for low latency. That means picking a region that's geographically close to your users. The closer it is, the faster your app responds. Cost. Yes, pricing differs from one region to another. Some regions are cheaper than others. So if cost saving is a priority, make sure to compare before deploying. Services and features. Not all regions offer all AWS services. Newer features usually arrive first in major regions like US East or Europe. So if you are planning to use cutting edge services, this is something to check. So before launching your app, take a step back and evaluate these factors: compliance, latency, cost, and available services to choose the best fit region for your needs. Let's now talk about edge locations, one of the key components of AWS Global Infrastructure. What are edge locations? Edge locations are data centers located in major cities across the world, designed specifically to deliver content faster to user. Why do we need them? When you access a website or stream a video, the data has to travel from the server to your device. If the server is far away, there's more latency. That's the delay we discussed earlier. Edge locations solve this by catching content closer to the users. How does it work? AWS uses a service called CloudFront, a content delivery network, which delivers static and dynamic content through these edge locations. Let's see an example. For example, imagine a company stores video in AWS Mumbai region. When a user from Hyderabad streams it for the first time, the content of the video get cached in the content delivery network or edge locations. So next time when the same user try to stream the video, it will be delivered to him in a low latency. So in this way, the video is cached in Hyderabad edge location for faster delivery. So remember, edge locations are all about speed, performance, and better user experience, especially when content is accessed by people across the globe. Now let's move on to another part of AWS infrastructure: local zones. What are local zones? Local zones let you run application closer to your user, even if the main AWS region is far away. They extend AWS services to metro cities where there isn't a full AWS region. Why does it matter? Some applications like gaming, video editing, real-time simulations need ultra-low latency. If users are far from the main AWS region, it can slow things down. That's where local zone helps. Let's see an example for local zone. Imagine a gaming company based in Delhi. They host their servers in the AWS Mumbai region. Players in Delhi start noticing lag and delays in gameplay. So the company decides to use the AWS local zone in Delhi. Now game servers are physically closer to the players, leading to faster response and better gaming experience. Now let us see about AWS Outpost. Let's say you are running a bank in Bangalore. Every second, thousands of transactions are happening, and you need real-time processing with data stored locally for compliance reasons. But you still want to take advantage of AWS infrastructure. That's where AWS Outpost comes in. It's like having an AWS data center inside your own premises. The bank can process transactions locally with low latency while still sending logs to AWS for monitoring and analytics. So you get the best of both worlds, AWS services, but right inside your own data center. Now let's talk about AWS Wavelength. Now imagine you are booking a ride through a mobile app in Delhi. You don't want delays. You need the nearest driver matched instantly. Usually, requests travel all the way to an AWS region, which can cause lag. But with AWS Wavelength, the app processor request inside a 5G network itself, closer to the users. That means faster ride matching, low latency, and an overall smoother experience for both riders and drivers. Now you might be wondering, when should I use AWS local zones and when should I use edge locations? Use AWS local zones when you need compute, storage, or database services closest to your user. For example, a gaming company in Delhi moves its game servers to a local zone to reduce lag. Use edge locations when you need faster content delivery via CloudFront CDN. For example, a video streaming app catches popular movies in a nearby edge location for smoother playback. In short, local zones for running applications closer to users, edge locations for catching static content like images, videos, or web pages. Choose based on what your workload needs. Before closing out the video, I would like to show you all the AWS Global Infrastructure map which is present in the AWS site. As you all see, there are currently 36 launched regions and each regions have multiple availability zones. And there are currently 114 availability zones present. And there are 700 plus CloudFront POPs and 13 regional edge caches are present. If we can go and see the AWS Global Infrastructure map, we can see some green and red dots. If you look at the green dots, they are the currently existing regions. For India, maybe we can check out, there are two regions, namely Hyderabad, which has been launched in 2022 and it is currently having 3 availability zones. And the oldest region in India is Mumbai. It was launched in 2016. It has 3 availability zones and 2 local zones. And you can see some red dots, which are the regions which are coming soon. As you can see, there will be a region which is coming soon for Saudi Arabia as well as Germany. Also, you can see that there are currently 42 local zones and 31 wavelength zones for ultra low latency applications. And it has been mentioned that AWS is currently serving 245 countries and territories. And there are 135 direct connect locations. We will see about direct connect in our future sessions. So that's wrap up today's video on AWS Global Infrastructure. I hope this gave you a clear understanding of how AWS is built across the globe, from regions and availability zones to local zones, edge locations, outpost, and wavelength zones. If you are a beginner, this foundation will really help you as you move forward with AWS services or certifications. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, drop your thoughts or questions in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more DevOps and cloud content. I will see you in the next video. Bye. Take care.